NSL streak and tradition continue.
Our year.
12 years, 151 games in a row. But we were never just about winning. We were built on families.
Doing it, coach. Get my baby out of Richmond.
And our town coming together.
The longest winning streak in sports history is now over.
But losing the streak tested us all.
Don't let a game define who you are. Let the way you live your lives do that.
It's just a high school football game.
Ever since day one, we've been doing what's best for us. You and me getting out of here together.
People always ask me what it's like to never lose. Today I am lost. All the things I've taught, I don't know if I'm still doing much good here.
I just want you happy and healthy.
DNA! Call 911!
Coach told us, face your fears.
Meet Buster Matthews, 330 pounds of pure aggression, and you're gonna face him the whole game.
You've got to decide what you want to be.
Only way I'm going out of this game is on a stretcher.
You know why they call me Buster?
Because you're stupid enough to let him. No matter where we go or what we achieve. Nothing's ever gonna come close to what we have right here, right now.
When the game stands tall.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Kwa bibi yako. Unajua pia nzisha napiga rafiti sana.
Machero jabuko.
Wacha mimi nirudi kazi.
Ameacha sasa kazi ya umbochi. Sasa ni dime Glenn.
Na mimi nakuuliza, ni ukweli ulimchapa?
Nilimpigaga tu slap moja.
Are you stalking me with Kama?
Why?
Sasa afaru hizi hata azisomeki zitakulika kweli?
Kama, wacha nikusaidie.
Hapana. Wacha niangalie kama nitaona gedeli.
Yes, young lady.
It's Steph.
I forgot your name.
If I was your preference, you wouldn't forget my name.
Please just tell me what you know.
Give me an hour. I go, find out something, then I'll come back and tell you what I know.
This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
What are some of the basic pillars of planning money?
Just understanding what your income is, budgeting, track your spending, know where your money is going to. Because once you understand these 4 pillars that I'm talking about, it is very easy for you to start now managing your money. Faith it, work towards it, don't fake it. So the idea of just trying to compare myself to another person is what kills us.
Okay.
Simujifanya ni washindani. Ngoja siku ifike.
Mimi ni paka mwitu, nitakupa pura.
Ni usiku sasa, matatizo kuna nini?
Mtume! Nilikwambia wacha kuzungumza na mwanamke. She has no respect. Coming to my party.
Wacha kunipiga, nipige. Kuwa makini sana ule mke wako. La usivyo tukugharimu.
Mamako mwenyewe. Wewe usiniudhi. Sawa, wewe ulimwona mamangu?
Huwezi kunisaidia? Nenda zako.
To you too. Cheers.
Happy 2021. It is the first day of a new year, and here on Kenya Broadcasting Corporation we wish you a happy new year. Now, to kick us off on this bulletin, we shall be looking at matters health, we shall also be looking at matters politics, education and so much more. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter is Simon Karutha. Now we shall join Nancy Okware, and earlier on the Cabinet Secretary for Health, Mutahi Kagwe, met with the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers, whereby they reached a consensus regarding matters strike. Now, our reporter Nancy Okware is on standby and bring us the details.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Jackie Wambiru, back at the broadcasting house. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year, Kenya. Indeed, we are coming to you live from Afya House right here in Nairobi County. It is indeed a good year. It has started on a good note following the calling off of the strike by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers, following an agreement with the Ministry of Health, the Council of Governors, and of course the Ministry of Labour to call off the strike that has been on for about 3 weeks. And indeed, the members of the KUCO, or the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers, have been urged to return to work within the next 24 hours. And joining me right now to give us an insight on what the terms of return to work are is the chairperson of the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers, Peterson Wachira. Thank you so much for joining us. Maybe you could tell us what the terms were for you to actually agree with the Ministry of Health and all the stakeholders to go back to work.
Thank you, and Happy New Year to you, and indeed Happy New Year to all Kenyans, wherever they are. I think it's a good time for us to be able to go back, especially considering that from Monday, our children are going to go back to school. We are going to have a lot of interaction, both at the towns, in the vehicles, and at school. And of course, one thing we know for sure is that the virus, the infection with the virus is going to go up. There will be a surge. And so it's a time that we really need to be in the hospitals to take care of what is going to happen. We went out because the working environment was not safe for us and even for the patients that we serve. And of course, our members' welfare was not taken care of in terms of comprehensive insurance and group life to compensate them in case they die, so that their families do not have to live in destitution. Today I can confirm to our members that we have agreed that in every level of the facility, from the dispensary upwards, we are going to have adequate PPEs. And to ensure that that happens, we are going to constitute a committee in every county, in every sub-county, together with our officials, to ensure that they can tell where the gap is and replenish very fast. Number two, every clinical officer, wherever they are in the country, they will have comprehensive medical insurance cover to cater for COVID-19 and all other illnesses, including any ICU care in any hospital. We are also going to have compensation to their families so that they do not have to live in destitution. That is in form of group life. And of course, our members who are employed on short-term contracts for 6 months are going to be renewed, and the risk allowance is going to be reviewed upwards for clinical officers across the country. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, as we finish up, maybe what percentage would you say you are happy? Is it 80, 20? Do you feel like the ministry has actually done something in terms of addressing all the issues you had? What percentage, briefly?
I think what I would say is that in a negotiation you can not have 100%. I can say we are 70% in, but we have agreed on modalities of ensuring we cover the 30% very fast. And from Monday we are starting a new conversation to ensure that we cover the 30% and all the issues are taken care of, so that we can go back in a safe environment for us, but most importantly for Kenyans, and to ensure that we are not the super spreaders of the virus.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much indeed. We have been speaking to Peterson Wachira, who is the chairperson of the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers. The strike has been called off, with the union members urged to go back to work within the next 24 hours. Indeed, Jackie Wambiru will be giving you a comprehensive story on this in our subsequent bulletin, that is at 7 p.m. and of course at 9 p.m. For now, I hand it back to you at the broadcasting house.
Well, thank you so much, Nancy Okware, coming live from Afya House, where the clinical officers have ended the strike. Now, ahead of the back-to-school preparations, which have kicked off in various parts of the country, let's head over to Baba Dogo Primary School, where Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha is addressing members of the fourth estate. Now, let's listen in.
100% of the time. If that is done, social distancing may not have as bad an impact as we expect. And that is why the government of the Republic of Kenya, through the Ministries of Education, Interior and Health, have now gotten a higher figure of masks. We are now talking about 7 million masks, which we shall give judiciously to the children that need them and to any other person that needs them. The majority of our parents, ladies and gentlemen, let the truth be told during daylight, they can afford 100 shillings to buy 2 reusable masks. So close your ears, and I'm answering you about social distancing through mask. For example, the way I am masked properly, hata kama uko na hiyo hautanipata. Do you get the point? So I want you to help us to build the confidence that the country is ready to reopen the schools. All countries around Kenya have their schools open. And since we are number 1 in the region, why do you want us to keep closing our schools as if people didn't go to school? So the schools shall open. In terms of accepting children back to school, the rule of thumb is this: every child must be accepted back to school, whether in private or public. If you dare to turn a child away to go back home because of school fees, you shall face the full force of the law. That is the directive of His Excellency the President. After that, then we look at the people who are playing around, because they are Kenyan players, and you know it. So any parent who plays with this, the government through the Ngao will work with them very swiftly. If you can afford to pay and you are saying lies, we shall not go for the child, we shall go for you, isn't it? And you will soon get the direction as to what to do, because we are doing this together as one government, together with the Ministry of Health and together with the Ministry of Interior. If you have time and you identify that the child is absolutely indigent and cannot pay fees for the boarding, then we are also available to look and find out what can be done. Don't forget that primary school is 100% free as per the Constitution. The 75% of secondary schools are day school, and therefore we expect that there should be no fees charged there. This is not the time to try to extort, even if you are used to doing so. As far as private schools are concerned, I have said some of them may close down. Government is alive, willing and kicking, and you heard His Excellency the President yesterday. We shall admit those children to public schools. Now, being Kenyan, you may find that they are all heading to the top schools. The Ministry of Education has a policy which will follow how the children performed before and will place them in schools appropriate to where they should have been in the first place. So there should be no problem as far as that is concerned. For the examination class, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 18th time I'm saying 2 things. One, for those children in private schools whose schools are going to shut down or have shut down, and there are not many because we have had a time and we didn't get issues, we shall ensure that the government, together with the Kenya National Examination Council, shall advise as to where they will do their exams. For the examination classes that their schools are on, but sincerely they cannot afford the fees because they will have been admitted back as we have ordered, but they can't continue because they can't afford the fees. They voluntarily are required to come to public schools where they will finish, but because the exam has been printed with all the security details, when it comes to examination time, we shall make sure that they go to do their exams at the schools where they registered. You see, I have no water in my mouth. I'm very clear. So I think, let me not tell you everything now because I'm still moving, and I'll make a major statement in Murang'a tomorrow, and the one government will make a proper statement on Sunday. So we are not sitting down, and allow me now to go to the workshop to just check how work is going on. Senor?
Yes, just...
Do you understand English?
Yes, I do. Just a clarification.
Well, that was the Education Cabinet Secretary, Professor George Magoha, discussing matters whereby the resumption of learning is expected to kick off come January 4th. We shall be having more details in our subsequent bulletins at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Now, still on the same, back-to-school preparations have kicked off in various parts of the country as parents prepare to have their children report to school on Monday. Business is booming and school uniform shops and bookshops as some parents attempt to beat the last-minute rush. Kevin Oshiro gives us details of the ongoing preparations amid calls for the government to ensure learners have access to face masks, sanitizers and water and soap as per the COVID-19 guidelines.
This was the situation in Thika town. Parents flocked to school uniform distributors' shops as well as bookstores to prepare the learners for the start of second term that commences on Monday. The parents who were at school uniform distributors pointed out the learners had outgrown their uniform, having been at home for nearly 1 year.
Hii COVID wamekaa sana kutoka karibu mwezi ya 3 wamekuwa bila kwenda shule. Kwa hivyo wamekula, wamenona sana.
Wamekaa nyumbani miezi kadhaa, definitely nguo haziwatoshi, wamekuwa wakubwa, wamekuwa warefu, wenye ulikuwa unafikiria hata viatu, kuanzia kwa viatu, nguo zote haziwatoshi.
Tunataka kuuliza serikali isaidie wazazi juu wakati COVID iliingia, wazazi wengi walipoteza kazi na hawana hiyo pesa hata ya kurudisha watoto shule.
However, the shop owners say business is not booming compared to last year.
Tukilinganisha na mwaka uliopita, tumeona kuna mabadiliko mengi sana. Manake kumekuwa na muda mgumu sana kwa kila mtu.
At the same time, the political class are demanding the government supply adequate face masks, water and soap, as well as sanitizers to schools.
That it is the duty and responsibility of the government to provide the basic facilities, including masks and sanitizers to all our children in schools, without exception.
We have also tried to supply water tanks to the schools that need those tanks. We are also making arrangements to give masks to these children.
Meanwhile, Busia County Deputy Governor Moses Mulome is expressing concerns over the safety of teachers as schools resume.
Tunaombea walimu wote kwa sababu tunaingia msimu wa watoto wetu kurudi shule. Sisi ambao tuko katika department ya health tumekuwa mstari wa mbele kwa upande wa corona. Saa hii tunaungana na walimu kwa sababu hao pia watakuwa mstari wa mbele kwa kusaidia kuwatunza watoto wenyu, na nyinyi wananchi pia tusaidiane kutunza hao watoto.
Kevin Washira, Channel 1 News.
Well, that report ahead of the school reopening on January 4th brings us to a fast break here on Channel 1 Lunchtime News. We'll be right back.
This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
Freedom is coming tomorrow. I want the whole world to know that I am mine and you are yours. Sorry. You are mine and I am yours.
How long have you been in this college?
Very long.
Very long, I know. Beats me why you are happy to see someone else taking what is rightfully yours.
Atito Jaturua, speak for yourself. Pesa ni sabuni ya roho. Inasafisha piani.
Hey, red days, and red days. I just beg of you to keep your feelings on check, or else I will disappoint all of you.
Classmates, every Saturday on KBC.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
I thought you should know I had a meeting with Masinde.
You what?
I had to.
I told you to wait.
We need help and we can trust him.
Now, how do we know he won't involve anyone else?
Raha yangu ni Pamela awe na furaha. Can you make her happy?
Yeah.
Is it true what they're saying about Dad and him being involved in all those shoddy deals?
Unajua kusema kweli sikuwahi pigilia in my wildest dreams ati utawahi wacha gym.
Kuacha gym?
It made me realize that I want you in my life.
Welcome back. Nairobi residents ushered in the new year with little pomp and color as clubs remained shut and churches silent in the wake of the COVID-19 restrictions. Unlike previous years where concerts, fireworks and crowds gather on the streets to mark the day, this year the streets were clear and fireworks displays were limited in line with the government's directive imposing a curfew at 10 p.m. Timothy Kipnusu was on the streets of Nairobi and brings you details on the low-key celebrations in Nairobi.
Thursday night in the streets of Nairobi. A few hours to the stroke of midnight and the streets were clear save for a few Kenyans who perhaps were offering essential services and were allowed to be out on the streets. Street families also taking time to enjoy the last hours of 2020 in anticipation of 2021. And they did it in style with song and dance, putting their best foot forward. The 2021 festivities will begin before midnight in some places, as clubs opted to display their fireworks before the stroke of midnight, owing to the ban on activities past 10 p.m. Kenyans we spoke to were optimistic of the new year ahead.
Yenyewe kuna changamoto lakini lazima watoto wasome. Sisi watoto wataenda shule lakini sasa mwaka huu mwenyewe alisema school fees isiwe ni shida kwa mzazi. Sasa tutapeleka huko na ile ambayo niko naye kidogo ambayo nitalipa. Alafu itabidi waziri afanye nini, wizara ya elimu ijue kweli tulikuwa na changamoto, isaidie wazazi watoto wasifukuzwe shule.
They also called on the government to ease the curfew and open up the economy for business.
Tarajio langu hii mwaka ni ya kwamba serikali itaweza kutuondolea kafyu. Maana hii kafyu imefanya mambo mengi yakaweze kusimama. Hata kana kwamba ugonjwa upo, ukweli ni kwamba ugonjwa huu hauondoki uko pamoja nasi.
Mwaka 2021 ile kitu tu naweza omba serikali ijue hii kama ugonjwa haiwezi ikaisha. Tukubali tu tuishi na hii ugonjwa. Wafungue, naomba tu mtukufu rais afungue economy 24/7. Alafu turejelee ile kazi yetu ya kawaida.
And as the curtain came down on 2020, they were all in agreement that the pandemic had presented a challenge but remained optimistic of the new year.
Ile nimeona sijaiona. So ningeomba tu hata saa hii curfew ya 31st ningeomba twende tuombe ifike mpaka ndio naona congestion ya watu, ningeomba tu twende tuombe.
We are hearing the teachers right now. They are going to be cut 7.5. I don't know 7.5 about the salary. To be cut in the salary. So what is that?
Timothy Kipnusu for Channel 1 News.
Hundreds of Baringo County residents braved heavy rains to usher in the new year. In many parts of the county, however, many people opted to stay indoors owing to the COVID-19 restrictions. Celebrations coming even as Kenyans are urged to assist the vulnerable members of the society.
2, 1.
Hundreds of Baringo residents gathered in Lake Bogoria to celebrate the end of year and mark the beginning of another. It was song and dance as locals put aside the struggles that characterized the year 2020.
I know the year has been so challenging, especially to the business people, especially the tourism industry, schools, students, and even the government. But we hope the new year will bring us the best.
In the spirit of charity and goodwill, Kenyans in Kitengela have been encouraged to shepherd the less fortunate through the current economic turbulence brought by COVID-19.
We have visited the needy families of Kitengela to give them a New Year food donation to ensure that they start the year with enthusiasm, as a sign of love and hope. We know that the economy has been a big challenge, and this is a new boost as they begin the year.
Isikia mwaka imeanza vizuri, hata Christmas nilikuwa nimelalamika, lakini mwaka imeanza vizuri sana. Mwaka imeanza vizuri na tumepata kakitu ya kupelekea watoto.
Kitengela miaka 15 sijawahi pata msaada, lakini huu mwaka nimepata, nimeshukuru na nimefurahia.
In Samburu County, parents with disabled children were encouraged to seek assistance to enable the children lead normal lives.
Kuhimiza wazazi ambao kwa njia moja ama nyingine wamepata watoto walemavu wachukue jukumu kama mtoto tu mwingine wowote, sio kumtupa, sio kumdhuru, kwa sababu tumepata hata watoto ambao wamekuwa abandoned, na kama sio hizi charity homes hao watoto wangekuwa wamepata shida. So wazazi pia wapate kuchukua jukumu ya kuhakikisha kwamba hao watoto wanashughulikiwa kama watoto wengine wowote. Ile hali ya kushughulikia programs zetu za early childhood development, pia tumeenroll hao watoto wote wenye wako kwa children's homes kwa program yetu ya ECD, haswa kwa feeding program. Tumewapatia chakula kama tunavyowapatia watoto wengine wote chakula wa ECD kwa mwaka mzima. Kila tamu wakifungua shule tuko na program ya kuwapatia chakula.
The calls coming even as some 385 needy members in the society in Kathiani benefited from a donation of 2,440 chicks and chicken feed. Kaliluni Cooperative Society Chairman Edwin Mulomba said the donation is aimed at supporting the group towards financial independence and self-reliance.
Inaweza ikakupatia vifaranga zaidi ya 20. Ni sawa? Kwa hiyo kuku itakuwa yako, uilinde na uitunze. On top of that kuku, utapatiwa chakula ya kulisha hiyo kuku. Kamfuko ya kilo 10 ya mwanzo. Uanze hiyo kazi.
Wakati wa COVID-19, vijana wengi hawana makazi. Sasa hii itatufaidi, tutaji-employ, then tujisaidia.
And now across borders, the globe ushered in the new year 2021 with limited celebrations compared to previous years owing to the COVID-19 pandemic. Spectacular fireworks were televised and watched on different social media platforms due to the ban on social gatherings as some nations imposed more strict measures including lockdowns. Sarafina Ruby with details of how the globe marked the New Year festivities.
Spectacular fireworks, animation, laser and light ring in 2021. This was the dazzling display by Emir, the master developer of the Burj Khalifa in the United Arab Emirates, as they celebrated New Year's with the theme of togetherness, the United Arab Emirates' success and achievements, and paid tribute to the frontline heroes of 2020. They had invited global audiences to join virtually through a partnership with Zoom and live streams on YouTube and other social media channels. In New York, just a handful of people were allowed into the Times Square to watch the famous midnight ball drop. Most of those allowed to watch were mainly frontline workers, first responders and their families, as stars performed as usual at the televised event. However, the case was different in other places such as Germany, which is currently under lockdown until 10th of January. The Netherlands until the 19th of January, and Turkey has begun a 4-day lockdown. Fireworks and gatherings were equally banned in some places, such as Sydney, with more restrictions and curfews imposed in France, Ireland, Germany and Italy. For Channel 1 News, I'm Serafina Robbie.
And in Mombasa County, fireworks and jubilation rendered there as hundreds of Kenyans gathered in various beach hotels in Mombasa to welcome the new year. Though the celebrations were limited due to the existing nighttime curfew, revelers expressed optimism that the ghosts of 2020 shall not dampen the spirit of the new year. And more with more details.
As early as 9 p.m. Thursday, fireworks lit the skies of hotels spread out along the white sandy beaches of Mombasa as revelers cheered in jubilation in readiness for the new year. The new normal, however, forced revelers to conform to the COVID-19 containment measures. Most hotels recorded bed occupancy of up to 70% as thousands sought to take a break from the realities that came with the year 2020.
It was very tough indeed, and we achieved almost zero from our budgets. But we thank God this festivity has come with a lot of hope. We've been able at least to make a sale and to give hope to the world and to our staff members.
Let me say that this year has been a bit challenging because of Corona, but all in all, we thank God for everything because it is Him who created us, and He even knew about this year even before we were born. So we should always give thanks, irrespective of what happened, what has happened in this year.
As Kenyans ushered in the new year, they said they are optimistic that they shall reap the benefits of the ongoing efforts against COVID-19.
Nimefurahi kuona kwamba kuna wale ambao wanachora ile ka coronavirus kwa 2020 alafu kisha wanabadilisha wanaleta sindano pale. Kwa hivyo next year kuna matumaini ya kwamba tukidunga ile sindano tutaweza kujikinga kutoka kwa coronavirus na maisha yatarejelea vile yalivyo, sababu mwaka huu umekuwa mgumu sana. Kibiashara, kazi hakuna, pesa hakuna. Tunatumaini ya kwamba next year itakuwa mwaka ambao utakuwa na pesa itakuwa, ajira itakuwa.
We hope to survive through conferences. Accommodation again is through residential conferences. So it's purely conferences for January. There are a few international charters which have opened up. That one is also giving us hope. But of course, once the overseas market opens fully, so we hope by March we shall be back on our feet.
For Channel 1 Lunchtime News from Mombasa County, I am Anboro.
In other news, 9 babies were born moments after the stroke of midnight at Pumwani Maternity Hospital in Nairobi. Now, the hospital, however, recorded a drop in new births on New Year compared to previous years. Hospital management, however, expressed concern over the devastating effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and the industrial action by healthcare workers that has hindered access to maternal health services. The mothers, however, expressed their joy and relief to receive the bundle of joy as the world was ushering in the new year.
Nikafurahia kupewa mtoto msichana. Juu niko na boy.
Nilijifungua saa sita saa saba hapa. And mtoto ni kijana. I had a safe delivery, which I thank God.
Today we had about 9 deliveries from midnight. The first born was born at 12:10 and the last one this morning was 7:30. This year we are
a bit much lower because of the COVID and the nation also strike that we are having. It has also affected. So the mothers are afraid maybe they come and they are not going to be attended. But us, we have been working ever since.
And in the sports world, Kimagol Football Club are the winners of Baringo Governors Cup, which was held in Kimagol. Baringo North Sub-County Kimagol FC edged out Kasok FC 4-3 in post-match penalties to lift the trophy. The match ended 2-2 draw in regulation time. Kimagol topped A after humbling Kipsaraman FC and Poi FC, while Kasok thrashed Mundoy FC and Kabarkebo FC to top Pool B. 6 teams took part in the tournament.
Ilikuwa na hiyo pressure kwa game, but tulimanage kutuliza hadi venye tulimaliza ndio tukaenda ma penalty, but furaha kwa timu yetu.
Now, Kenya's Margaret Kipkemboi and Uganda's Oscar Chelimo won the 46th edition of the Bow Classic 10-kilometer race in Bolzano, Italy. Now, the race was not held over the usual course due to COVID-19 pandemic restrictions.
5 women formed by Gloria Kite, Nora Tanui Kipkemboi, Tuito Ek and Janet Kisa took charge of the race in the opening stages. Kipkemboi, Tanui and Tuito Ek pulled away in a chase for the title. Kipkemboi, the 5,000 meters world silver medalist, claimed the title for the second consecutive year, but this time over 10 kilometers, holding off half-marathon specialist Dorcas Jepchichi Tuito Ek by 1 second in a close sprint finish. 3,000 meters steeplechase specialist Nora Tanui completed the Kenyan podium sweep. Uganda's Oscar Chelimo won the men's title ahead of Robin Hendricks of Belgium and Abdelati Iguida of Morocco, who came in second and third respectively. Karanja David for Channel 1 Sport.
Manchester United will usher in 2021 with a crucial Premier League fixture against high-flying Aston Villa at Old Trafford. Meanwhile, Edinson Cavani will miss the tie after he was charged by the FA with an aggravated breach of their rules.
Looking to pile more pressure on leaders Liverpool with a win that will take them level on points with the champions. United are waiting on the fitness of Victor Lindelof, who missed the win over Wolves with a back problem. Defender Alex Telles is fit despite being withdrawn at halftime in midweek. United have an excellent record against Aston Villa in the Premier League and have not lost in their previous 15 meetings. Villa have tasted league victory just once at Old Trafford since 1989, the win coming in December 2009. The visitors, meanwhile, will hope to welcome Ross Barkley back, who has had to sit out the last 6 weeks of action with a hamstring problem. Centre-back Tyrone Mings is available once again after serving a 1-match suspension during the 1-1 draw with Chelsea. Villa have enjoyed their best start to a Premier League season in almost 2 decades, having won 8, drawn 2 and lost 4 of their 14 matches to date. Villa have been impressive on the road, beating Leicester, Arsenal and Wolves among others, but their finest performance of the season came in early October when they dismantled champions Liverpool at Villa Park, registering an astonishing 7-2 victory.
Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon. Thank you for keeping it Channel 1 Lunchtime News. We shall have more news in our subsequent bulletins at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter has been Simon Karudha. Well, on behalf of Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, Happy New Year and a prosperous 2021. Have a good day.
Beauty College.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET-approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design in soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725 923 550 Nairobi branch, 0728 087 689 Eldoret branch, 0722 22 7428 Thika branch, 0725 000 706 Meru branch. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a TVET approved institution.
Down here, we want to play some full court.
Oh yeah, we're good.
No, we're not. Y'all want the court? You play for the court. That's what real men do. So y'all want to play for it? Am I stuttering? You're not gonna come to us. I'm not serious. I am serious. People come in here and they think they got us. They don't have nothing.
So, babe, I was thinking we could go on our first real date.
Yeah, babe, we should do that.
Oh, yes. How are you doing?
Happy Valentine's Day, sweetie. And you too, Mom.
I'm just gonna leave you two alone.
I'll call you.
Or not.
Oh, she's so sweet to the eyes. She walk right by with her nose in the sky. Like, damn, she don't even know who I am. Got a two-piece.
Okay, where's the window? Why?
The Dark Knight strikes again.
Act like a lady, but think like a man.
Now one book is changing the game.
What are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? What are your views on relationships?
Who are you, Oprah? She's going to run when I tell her the truth.
Man is a traitor.
You know all of our maneuvers. This is war, gentlemen. We use his words to get what we want.
Hey, Mike, how old is your mom? What? I need you to rub my back. Put me in my onesie. Whatever you need to do, baby, I'm yours. I have to show him a guy with potential. Sweet. What you? Damn, look how small your skirt is.
Think like a man.
Simojifanya ni washindani. Ngoja siku ifike.
Mimi ni paka mwitu, nitakupa pura.
Ni usiku sasa, matatizo kuna nini?
Mtume! Nilikwambia wacha kuzungumza na mwanamke. She has no respect. Coming to my party.
Wataka kunipiga? Nipige! Kuwa makini sana ule mke wako. La usivyo tukugharimu.
Mamako mwenyewe. Wewe usiniudhi. Sawa, wewe ulimwona mamangu?
Huwezi kunisaidia. Nenda zako. To you too. Cheers.
One and all, sisters, brothers, fathers, mothers, to another one of my special wizard tales. Come to my animated world for tales of fantasy, tales of fun, tales of interest for every